Hi friends, this is Ganesh. Hope you're doing good. And in this video, I'm going to explain the concept called dynamic internal table. It's not only about internal table, so we'll see how we can dynamically create and populate the place which holds the value for a variable or a workarea or a body of an internal table. So basically data medium, how dynamically populate and create and populate the value for a data medium. So that is the idea. So here I'm going to show you how to design or how to create the dynamic internal table, how to assign a value for it, and how to read it. Some technical informations also we have to see one by one. Okay, so let's get into the slide first. So this is basic idea of internal table. So most of you are aware of that, and we are very technical term. I'm saying we are going to design the internal table in the compile time. So in the program itself, we are going to determine what is the structure of your internal table, what are the fields in it, and populate the corresponding values to the internal table. So that is the basic idea of internal table. Normally we do inside our program. So compile time itself, we are going to determine what is the structure of your internal table. It could be refer table or standard or customized structure from your data dictionary, or it can be done in your program itself. Okay, so these are the ways where we use to design our internal table. So the next requirement could be the structure is going to be determined at the runtime. So while creating a program, we don't have what kind of fields or how many fields is going to be um, keep in the internal tables. That is going to be finalized, or I can say that is going to be generated only at the runtime of your internal table, and that could be vary. So if you execute the program maybe the first time based on your requirement, user wants only 5 fields in the internal table. Some second time in the same program only 2 fields, and third execution they want only to be displayed or used only 3 fields of your internal table. So this is the basic idea of generating your internal table at the runtime. So it's nothing but dynamically we need to decide, or the program has to decide how many fields to be placed in the internal table. I'm talking about the fields, not the data. So data depends after that is finalized, then your program is going to be receive only those fields and keep it in your internal table. So everywhere is dynamic. So once you start designing your dynamic internal table, fetching is also going to be dynamic, depends on the business requirement. Okay, so this is the basic idea of dynamic internal table. So first, creation process. As I mentioned, the dynamic is not applicable only for your internal table. It can be applicable for a normal variable also, or a work area also. So those three I'm going to show in this particular session. Okay, how to design a dynamic place for a variable, work area, and body of an internal table. So first thing, we need a concept called data reference. So hope you might aware of it. If you have any need any clarity on this, some basic ideas, please refer my previous one of the video where I have explained the field symbols and data reference concept. That would help for you. So data reference is the one which we are going to use to design the um, initial space for to keep the value of your variable. Okay, value of your data medium. So like this, I need a space. It's the space is going to be designed in the compile time, but how is this going to be used, whether you're going to keep the variable value or a work area value or an internal table value, that needs to be finalized or generated at the runtime. Okay, so first time I need a space. This is just for your reference, I'm saying. So I'm going to create a space with the help of data reference concept. So for that I need a syntax of type ref to data. So data, any variable name, and you have to say type ref to data. So that creates an empty space, okay, and it's an initial one. So I will show you in the debugging level how it's getting created and how it's visible as well. Okay, and the second syntax would be create. So create data, the same reference variable, type source. So this source is determined at the runtime. Okay, so that could be in data type, integer, character, packed, whatever it is, or it could be a structure, or it could be a table type also. Okay, so this source is determine how this space is going to be splitted, or how it's going to be used based on the source that is going to be mentioned at the runtime of your program. So if the source is a data type, it creates just a space to hold the value of your variable. The source is a structure or customized structure or a table, it's going to create a work area. The source is a table type, then it's going to be create a body of any table. So the single space is going to be changed based on the source that is going to be mentioned at the runtime of your program. So create process continues. So this is syntax. Create data as the keyword. So data reference any variable name which you declared previously. Type the source. So if the source, so based on the source, this space is going to be created like this. If you mention the source as integer data type, then what happens is two things going to determine at the runtime. What is the data type for the space, and this space is going to be changed as a placeholder of a value. If you say it's an integer and it's determined the data type for the space is integer, and this is getting ready to hold the integer values. Okay. And if the source is Mara, simply a structure or a table name, it's going to create the space as structure. Means it's going to be it's going to be a work area. So it's going to be divide the space into number of fields. Depends on the structure. The structure has 100 fields. It creates the space into 100 fields. It create the space capable of holding 100 field values. And again, it's a structure, so it's going to create a single line. It create a space to hold only one record at a time because it's a work area. And suppose the source is a table type, it creates the space into so many like more than one record, right? It's create a space capable of receiving more than one record at a time. Technically we call it as body of an internal table. So it depends on the source of your create data syntax, the space, the initial declaration space is going to be reorganized, I can say. Okay, so this is the two steps to understand how the space is determined at the runtime. So hope you can understand and you're able to follow. So next one is assign value. So before getting to assign value, I want to show the declaration part and creation part in the debugging level, how the data reference variable is getting organized based on your source. Okay, let's get into the system. Okay. Okay, so this is a program, dynamic medium or dynamic interval, whatever it is. So I'm going to create three different variables. Dynamic, I can say data reference variable. So dref for variable type, ref to data, and reference variable for work area type ref to data, ref internal table type ref to data. Okay, so three different data medium, and I need to assign the values of the runtime. So dref for variable type integer, then here dref for work area type Mara. So actually this is not dynamically determined because I given the name as it is over here, but this is just for your reference, and slowly I'm going to change this as a dynamic value. Okay, so not now. So this is just for our understanding. So first breakpoints and act order. So I want to show you how it's look like before the create data statement. Means I can say the empty space, and while executing the create data, how that empty space is reorganized to hold the value of the variable based on the input. Let me have a breakpoint here. Execute. Okay, so here, okay, so the debugging level, let me just have this variables and see how it's declared or designed after your data statement. Okay, so everything is initial, there is no change in structure or the value wise, the design wise, all the variables are in the same size, or it creates a space simply. And after the create data statement depends on the source is going to change the specification of that variable. It could be ready for accepting the integer value, it could be ready for accepting a work area value, and it's fine to get more than one record at a time. It's body of an internal table, so that way it goes to change the specification of that reference variable. We'll see one by one. I'm going to execute the first statement, line number 15, and you can see the value as 0, and this is going to be, there's a status also. And if you just click this referenced object, and it shows some technical details of that particular reference object. Data type is I4 and type is I, and the value is 0. It's pretty simple. One thing to be noticed over here is the symbol. Okay, so this is like what's a referenced variable, and if you want to read or assign a value to a reference variable, you have to dereference it, meaning you have to remove the reference from that variable. Then only we're able to do either read or write. Okay, just keep this symbol on your mind. Maybe the next slide I will explain about this. Okay, and go back, and if you click the status, yes, you are able to see that symbol. But if you double click the variable, directly to the variable, so it just simply say what is the data type and what is the value for that. Okay, so you're not able to see the dereferenced variable or dereferenced symbol over here. So only if you click the status button you are able to. Okay, now the second one, I'm going to execute this statement. So I'm expecting this space is going to be converted to accept a single record from a database table. Technically we call it as work area, F5. So it's structure, and if you click this, you're able to see the place where the data is going to store in this particular referenced variable. So this is the structure of the source, like Mara. Okay, then go back. Here also you're able to see that dereferenced symbol, and finally body of an internal table in F5. So it shows an empty internal table, 0 records with 237 fields. Just click it. It shows an internal table, empty internal table. Okay. So this is the way we have to create the space and convert the space based on your business requirement. That is dynamic. So create data is going to be dynamic as per the code, as per my code. It's not dynamic now because I hard coded the value. So let me replace this as well. It's quite forward. Let me replace this. Okay, execute it. So hope you have an idea now. So the next one is how to assign values to the referenced variable. So that is the next step. So here, I think I explained till this place line, right? Let me go to this one. So how to assign a value. So here the source of my space is integer, so it's going to be this space is getting ready to accept the integer value. So dynamically if you want to populate different data type, that same way is going, this space is getting ready for accepting the values. The next, I want to assign a value for this variable. So this is my reference variable. So to assign it, you have to dereference it technically. Okay, so how to dereference it? So you can't simply say dereference to another data object or another variable. It's not possible. So we need a help of field symbol. So field symbol is ready to accept the dereferenced variable. Okay, so the syntax for that is assign which variable you want to dereference, the dereference variable. So I want dereference this referenced variable to a field symbol. Okay, so syntax is very simple. So example, assign the variable name and the dereference symbol to uh, nowadays we have an inline declaration, so just make use of it, field symbol and any field symbol name. Okay, so what happens after this statement, your field symbol, this field symbol is ready to accept any value, and you know about field symbol, it's a kind of a pointer. Once you assign a value to this field symbol, it's automatically assigned to your reference variable also. So this is the value. So if you assign value 10, automatically reflects in both the places, your field symbol as well as your referenced variable. Clear? The same thing for your work area also. Nothing, there is no much change. So I'm changing the type as Mara. So then I'm going to give the same thing, assign my dereference variable to a field symbol. Might be here I'm going to use select single because I need the data from my database table. So select single and it's going to be this work area, so I can hold only one record at a time. That's why I just go with select single. And another one is for table type, like body of an internal table. So almost everything is same. So here I declared one more step because I'm not sure now how to declare a field symbol which accepts more than one data, like body of an internal table. That is the reason I declared explicitly here. Declared a field symbol which the type would be a standard any table, so the type standard table. So then I assign the reference variable dereference to a field symbol body. It accepts body of an internal table. Then normal select start from, here I used into table because it goes to body of an internal table. Okay, so this is a way we have to assign the values. So we'll see this again in the system level. Okay, so first values to variable or data object. So for that I need to assign my dereference variable. So I need to, sorry, assign, not assign, I need to dereference this reference variable with the help of a field symbol. Field symbol fs variable. That's it. And fs underscore variable, sorry, fs variable equal to 10. So the next one for work area, so assign deref work area, so dereference to field symbol fs work area. Then so after this I will change the hard coded values. So start from Mara into work area. Okay, and then another one is values to body of an internal table. So assign deref it to field symbol. So this needs to be declared before that. FSIT field symbol FSIT type standard. Okay. Sorry if it is already declared, you don't want to repeat it over here because you will get a syntax error. Okay. Then select star from table FSIT. Okay. I will go with some limitation, otherwise I don't want to, because it might, if it is a more data, it gets some time to load. I'll go with 100. Okay, back to it, then execute and see how it's filled in the debugging mode. I think there's an error because spelling mistake in my table. Here it is. Mara, activate. Okay, so good to go. Have a breakpoint and execute it. Okay, so let's go to the statement 21. Okay, close this. So I need a reference variable here. Okay, and then just F5. So I'm not able to take this because the field symbol is not an assigned message will come. So just F5. Okay, so now the field symbol is also ready because it's got declared in the previous statement. And if I assign a value, it automatically assign to this reference variable also. If I So it's getting updated here as well as here. So if you get into this, you'll be able to see the same value. Okay. So now then I'm going to do it for a work area. F5. So select single. Yes, it's also getting updated. So go into that, either a field symbol or your reference variable, whatever it is. You will get a data. Okay. So same thing as is going to be for your body of an table. There's no much change. So it should have 100 records. Yes, it's already updated here. So 100 records. Get into this and you're able to see the 100 records values. Clear? So now I'm going to change the hard coded things over here, but not for this. The same way you can do this for also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the table name or a structure from the runtime. So I'll go with structure name type character 30. So here it needs to be changed based on the user input. So change in the sense that the space going to be organized based on the user input. It's for Mara, it should go with 237 records. If it is a VBAK, maybe lesser fields. If it is a SCAR table, only 5 or 6 fields. Okay, so it depends on the user need. Now that space, the space which we created using the reference data reference variable, needs to be organized. Okay, and the same thing to be changed in the select also. So this also a dynamic one. So p underscore is name, and same thing here also, p underscore is name. So dynamic, probably we have different ways of generating the dynamic fields, because here it's very simple, just a structure name or a table name we can give. Sometimes we have to generate based on the user needs. For example, they will say, I want 5 months of data I want to see, or 3 months of data. So in that case, if we don't have a structure, so inside the program we need to generate it. Probably you might come across these kind of scenarios, like if the user says I want 3 months, then you have to concatenate the fields inside the program, like month 01, month 02. So concatenate that one with the help of do or whatever logic it is. Okay, so it's not like always be a structure and table is going to be the feed, is going to feed the program to generate the dynamic. It depends. You can generate the fields dynamically inside your program also. So everything is depends on how you want or how the client wants. Okay, or how the business needs. Simple. So here this is one way. You can keep this as a reference and you can just play around for your own requirement. Okay, so everything is dynamic now. Yes, so let me add toward it and execute, and we'll see with two different tables how the program or how the space is organized based on the input. Okay, let me execute. I have the same breakpoint. So let me go with Mara. We are already done. Let's see how it behaves for Mara, and we'll see with the different table name and come to the debugging level. Oh, okay, it just came all the way down. Okay, that's fine. So here it's a Mara and structures for Mara, and this one is also for from the Mara table. Okay, I think the same input, same values, what we have seen in the last execution. That's fine. Let me execute with a different table. I'll go with VBAK, execute. So now let's see how the space is organized. This is internal table, same 100 records, double click. Now it's holding the sales details. So last execution, it's hold the material information. Now it's hold the sales information. So this is a way your dynamic program or the dynamic code executes. It depends on the user input. It's automatically make that space ready for your own requirements. Clear? Excuse me. I think okay. I can show you that as well. Reference variable work area. So the work area holds VBAK first data, the first record. Excuse me. So here it's empty record. It's a training system. So even I found a record without sales or number.Maybe manually they added it. I believe. I'm not sure. So some data it's coming. That's fine. And this is for your internal table reference variable. Okay, almost we are good. Now we'll see how to read it. Read is also we need this field symbol, so that is no change, and probably we need some more step to read the value from with the help of this field symbols. Okay, let's see that first. Okay, we stopped here. So the next one, how to read a value. So to read a value from a dynamic dereference variable which points to a data type, that is very simple. You can use just write because it doesn't have additional fields, right? The value is going to store only in that field symbol, so that could be very simple one. And if it is a work area, that is also okay if you want to display all the values at a time, means all the field values at a time. So you can go with write that field symbol name. But if you want to specifically get the data from a field value from a work area or a body of internal table, so this write is not going to help because the field is generated dynamically. So sometimes it may be a sales details, the other execution it may be a material details. So for that we need a statement. We just came across the statement many times. It's nothing but assign component, okay, with the help of field symbol. So here it's everything is with the help of field symbol only we can achieve the dynamic one. So with the help of field symbols we are going to get the field value from a work area, because it's going to be read from the work area because it's not able to read directly from the body of an internal table. So even if you want to read the data from a body of internal table, you need to loop it, and that needs to be record by record only. The assign component will work. Okay, so the source of the data for the assign component is your work area only. So here work area to be declared with the help of field symbols. Okay, so if you clear with that, then this particular statement is very simple for you. Assign component field name again is a dynamic of structure, and then the field symbol, or again technically work area, which holds the data. So if you have 100 records, I want to read all the 100 records, so record by record we are going to do it. So this assign component statement is coming inside the loop statement only. Okay, if you want to read from a body of internal table. So at the end, I need one more field symbol to hold the value of this particular field. So this is a way where we can read it. Why we need this? Because until the exact runtime, we don't know what is the field name. So dynamically the field names also to be populated. So that is the reason we need an assign component to read the dynamic field values in your program. So we'll see this for our work area first, and the same way we can do it for body of an internal table. In my it's same as internal table also. In my example, I just used the whole structure like Mara, SKR, VBAK, but probably for you it depends on your business requirement. So just keep this as a reference and design your own dynamic things. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this is the system. So get into the system first. Okay. Okay, just go back. Okay, the line got changed. That's why it's not stopped in the breakpoints, because because of the parameter declaration. So now I need to read the values from a work area. So here what I'm going to do is, anyway I'm using the whole structure or a table name. So all the fields of the structure or table name is so stored in the table called dd03l. So I'm going to get the fields first, okay, with the help of a select statement. Then I'm going to loop it and read the value for each field with the help of assign component statement. So here what I'm going to do is, so select star from dd03l into table data id fields. So I think the version, because of this ECC version, I'm not able to declare declare this in the select statements. Actually I got an error. That is the reason I'm declaring it as separately type table of dd03. Okay, so now I'll okay, so here also I'm the var condition where the tab name equals p underscore s name. Okay, so based on the input, this internal table is getting filled with all the relevant fields. So I'm going to loop it fields into data. Okay, this needs to be a field symbol, assigning field symbol fs fields. Okay, so here I'm going to use assign component. So the field or dynamically populated, right? So each field start from one by one. So I'm going to get the field name that is going to store in this field name of the structure. Anyway, it's a work area, right? I'm going to get the value from the work area. It has only one value, so I need the structure. Sorry, this keyword is missing. Of structure to a field symbol. I need a new field symbol to hold the value. That's it. So if size apparently is 0, because sometimes what happens, some additional fields are available in dd03l that is not available in the table. So if this fails, you'll get a dump. So to avoid the dump, always go with size apparently, especially if you're handling with field symbols. Field symbols value. Okay, I'm done. Reprinter, activate it, and execute. So maybe I can keep a breakpoint here just to show at least one or two records how this is behaving using a send component. Let's see what is the error. That field symbol is unknown. Yeah, I think this is because of the version. It's not accepting the escape character in the select itself. That's fine. Most of your client system, I hope it's update so you can declare on the flow. Okay, and let me have a breakpoint here and execute it. So let me go with VBAK. Okay, let's see MAKT. Some different names. Okay, so here I have the fields of VB only 12. I'm sorry, MAKT. Okay, so 12 fields from MAKT table. So here you go. So few fields to be ignored. Probably we need to add some flags. That's fine. Then I have the fields over here. Not sure why it's getting slow a little bit. Okay, so like this. So I'm going to loop those fields of the particular structure and I'm going to read the value from a work area, means that is a field symbol. The value was dereferenced it and stored in this field symbol. So I'm going to use that one. So if and the first field, it's going to be failed. So size of bar say is 4 because that is not available in the table level. That's fine, it's ignored. And then another field also the same name, it's fine. Another field, now it's MAKTG, and the value is available in FSWA. I think it should be because sometimes it could be empty. Oh man, okay, because it's only one work area. Sorry, okay, let's do one thing. Just imagine, because this is a training system, so it sometimes you can be able to see some empty records. Material. Okay, this is just for the testing, so ignore it, because you will get, normally you will get a data when you work on your system. So fi, yes, I'm getting a value. So what is a value? So temp material. So this is going to be repeat for other fields, other relevant fields. And now the field is MAKTX, also the same one. And the another one is MANDT. Now MANDT is 800. It's a display here. Okay. So full execution. One more time. Yes, you'll get the data. So this is a way to read the informations from your data medium. It can be work area or body of an internal table. If it is a body of an internal table, maybe you can use the same thing over here. Loop. Anyway, I have the fields, and if you want it, you have to loop your internal table which holds the data. FSIT. Okay. Yeah, this also assigning, because that's need to be used in the assign component. So fs data. Okay, and then this is just a reference I'm using. You can use the other way as well. So into assigning, maybe I have already declared it in the previous one. Fields, I can use make use of it. Okay, so then you can use the assign component here. Assign component, the fields are coming from this field name of structure as nothing but fs data to okay, I need another. I have already the value to value. So if size sub bar c equal to 0, you can write the values. Okay, so after a loop you can write a skip or you can write a slash, so it depends how you want the values. Okay, activate it. So now I'm going to execute with a small table like skr. This time we'll try execute. So hope this table has some data. Let's see. The same thing will happen here. I have some fields from the skr table, so it works as expected. So let's execute fully. Take one more breakpoint. It's done. So this is from the workarea, and this part is from the body of an internal table. Okay. So hope this might give an idea to understand how the dynamic data medium is working, because it could be a variable, work area, or in body of internal table. So keep this and just play around with your own requirement or business scenarios. And if you have any doubt, please let me know. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next video. Bye.